Listen to me. You will never reach your full potential if you keep choosing pleasure over purpose. Pleasure feels good in the moment, but purpose feels good forever. Most people quit because chasing pleasure is easy. Scrolling all night, sleeping in, hanging with the wrong crowd. But chasing purpose, that's a fight. That's discipline. That's sacrifice. When you wake up every morning with a sense of purpose, you stop living for the weekend. You stop living for likes. You stop living for temporary highs. Purpose will make you turn off Netflix and turn on your vision. Purpose will make you work when you're tired, grind when you're broke, and keep going when nobody believes in you. The problem is, you think you got time. You think you can waste today and still catch up tomorrow. But every time you choose pleasure, you are pushing your purpose further away. Every time you delay the life you said you wanted. You have to decide today, do I want to feel good for a moment, or do I want to be great for a lifetime? Pleasure gives you a quick hit. Purpose gives you a legacy. Stop chasing the short-term fix. Stop chasing the long-term impact. When you put purpose over pleasure, you stop living for the now and start living for the next generation. Purpose is what will make you proud when you look back on your life. Purpose will outlast pain. It will outlast rejection. It will outlast failure. Pleasure fades, but purpose remains. Purpose is the fuel that drives everything in your life. When you wake up in the morning and you have a clear sense of why you do what you do, it changes everything about your day. It changes the way you get out of bed. It changes the way you respond to challenges. Changes the way you talk to yourself when you are tired, discouraged, or frustrated. Purpose is not just some fancy word we throw around. It is the engine that keeps you moving forward when the rest of the world is telling you to stop. When you have a strong enough why, you will find the how. That is not just a nice quote. It's the truth of life. You can be exhausted, you can be broke, you can be in pain, but if you know why you are doing it, you will find one more ounce of energy to take one more step. That is what separates people who finish from people who finish from people who quit. Quitting is easy when you are fueled by feelings. Continuing is the only option when you are fueled by purpose. Purpose is like fire. When it's lit inside of you, nothing can put it out. People can talk about you, they can doubt you, they can walk out on you, but they can't take away your why. When you have purpose, you stop relying on motivation. Motivation is good for a moment, but purpose sustains you for a lifetime. Motivation might get you started on Monday, but by Wednesday it's gone. Purpose is what will make you show up on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even on the days when nobody is watching, even on the days when it doesn't feel good. That's the difference between those who make their dreams a reality and those who just talk about what they wish they had. Think about the most difficult times in your life, the moments when you wanted to give up, when it seemed easier to just throw in the towel. What kept you going? It wasn't comfort. It wasn't pleasure. It was the thought that you had something bigger to live for. It was knowing that somebody was counting on you. Maybe it was your kids, maybe it was your parents, maybe it was your younger self who refused to settle for average. Purpose will force you to keep going even when every muscle in your body tells you to stop. It will make you dig deep when you think you have nothing left to give. Purpose changes how you view obstacles. Without purpose, every obstacle feels like a roadblock. With purpose, every obstacle becomes a stepping stone. You start asking yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to get better? Instead of saying, why me? You start saying, why me? Purpose shifts your perspective from victim to victor, and that shift is everything. Life is going to hit you, it's going to knock you down. When you know why you are fighting, you stop complaining about the fight and start embracing it. The fight becomes proof that you are on the right path. Purpose is also what keeps you consistent. Anybody can show up once. Anybody can work hard when they feel good. Purpose will make you show up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. It will make you show up when it rains, when it hurts, when it's lonely. Consistency is hard, but purpose makes it possible. Think about athletes who train every day for years just to compete for a few minutes. Why do they do it? Because they have a clear sense of purpose. They are not training for fun. They are training for something that matters to them so deeply that missing a workout feels like betraying themselves. When you have that kind of drive, you no longer need somebody to wake you up. You no longer need somebody to tell you to work. You hold yourself accountable because your why demands it. Purpose also gives you patience. We live in a world that wants everything now. Quick money, quick success, quick results. But real success takes time. It takes years of preparation, years of grinding, years of putting in work that nobody sees. Without purpose, that waiting will frustrate you. With purpose, that waiting will prepare you. You will start to see every season as necessary. You will understand that the dark times are growing you, shaping you, getting you ready for the moment when your opportunity comes. And when that moment comes, you will be ready because you didn't quit in the process. Purpose gives you courage. Most people don't chase their dreams because they are afraid of failure, afraid of what other people will say, afraid of taking a risk. But when your why is strong enough, it becomes bigger than your fear. You stop asking, what if it doesn't work? And you start saying, what if it does? You stop focusing on what you might lose and start focusing on what you have to gain. Fear will never leave, but purpose will make you act in spite of it. That's what courage is. Not the absence of fear, but the decision that something else is more important than fear. Purpose will also refine the people around you. When you get serious about your purpose, you start to see who is really with you and who is just around you. Some people love you when you are comfortable because your comfort keeps them comfortable. But when you start chasing purpose, when you start leveling up, some people will get uncomfortable. They will tell you you've changed. They will tell you to slow down. They will try to pull you back to where they are. Purpose will give you the strength to keep moving forward, even if it means walking alone for a season, because you will realize that your destiny is too important to compromise for the sake of company. Purpose also gives meaning to your pain, Pain without purpose feels like punishment. Pain with purpose feels like process. You start to see that the hurt, the betrayal, the struggle, the long nights, they were all part of shaping you into who you need to be to carry the blessing you asked for. That's why people who go through the most usually have the deepest sense of gratitude, because they know what it cost them to get where they are. Purpose turns your wounds into wisdom. It turns your losses into lessons. It turns your scars into stories that inspire somebody else to keep going. Purpose would even change how you celebrate. Pleasure wants you to celebrate for no reason. Purpose makes you celebrate progress, growth, and milestones. You don't just celebrate the end result. You celebrate the fact that you didn't quit, that you stayed committed, that you kept showing up when you could have walked away. And that kind of celebration fuels you for the next level. Purpose is not just about you. When you live with purpose, you start to realize that your life is connected to other lives. The decisions you make don't just affect you. They affect your family, your friends, the people who are watching you from a distance, the people who will be inspired by your story years from now. That's why you can't quit. That's why you can't give in to temporary pleasure. Somebody needs you to win. Somebody is waiting to see that it's possible. Somebody is waiting for you to break the cycle so they can believe they can too. Purpose is the fuel that will take you from where you are to where you are supposed to be. It will take you through the storms, through the sleepless nights, through the failures, through the seasons when it feels like nothing is working. It will take you through the days when you are tired, when you are broke, when you are lonely, when you are doubting yourself. It will take you through all of that and deliver you to the place you dreamed of being. And when you get there, you will know that it was worth every tear, every setback, every sacrifice, because you didn't just chase pleasure, you lived with purpose. Pleasure is temporary, purpose is permanent. That is a truth that many people don't understand until they have wasted years of their lives chasing things that gave them a momentary high, but left them feeling emptyward. Pleasure is easy to get. It is everywhere, it calls your name every single day, and it always promises to make you feel good right now. Pleasure is scrolling endlessly on your phone instead of working on your goals. Pleasure is eating the extra slice of cake instead of sticking to your plan. Pleasure is sleeping in when you promised yourself you would wake up early and grind. Pleasure feels good in the moment, but as soon as that moment is gone, so is the feeling. You are left with guilt, regret, and sometimes shame, because deep down you know you traded something you wanted long term for something you wanted right now. Purpose, on the other hand, is permanent. Purpose is that deep driving force inside you that keeps pulling you toward your destiny. Purpose is not loud. It does not scream for your attention the way pleasure does. Purpose is quiet, but it is constant. It doesn't go away when the feeling fades. In fact, purpose becomes louder when you try to ignore it. That's why some people feel restless in life even when they have comfort. That's why some people feel empty even when they have all the things that should make them happy. Pleasure can fill your time, but only purpose can fulfill your soul. When you live for pleasure, your life becomes a roller coaster of highs and lows. You feel great when you are in the middle of the pleasure, but when it ends, you have to go looking for the next fix. It's like drinking salt water. It satisfies you for a second, but leaves you thirstier than before. Living for pleasure is exhausting because you are always chasing the next thing, always needing more to feel satisfied. But when you live for purpose, you have a steady source of fulfillment. You may not always feel happy in the moment. You may not always feel excited, but you will always feel that your life is heading somewhere meaningful. Purpose requires patience. Pleasure demands immediacy. That is why most people choose pleasure, because we are wired to seek instant gratification. We want the reward now. We want the results now. But anything worth having takes time. Purpose asks you to delay gratification, to sacrifice now so you can reap the benefits later. Purpose says put in the work today so that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you can enjoy the life you dreamed of. Pleasure says skip the work, skip the grind, just enjoy yourself today and deal with the consequences later. And the problem is, later always comes. The bill for a pleasure-driven life always arrives, and when it does, it costs more than you expected. Choosing purpose over pleasure doesn't mean you never enjoy life. It doesn't mean you never take a break, never celebrate, never have fun. What it means is you are intentional about the things you do. You are not letting every urge and every craving control your life. You are not letting temporary feelings make permanent decisions. You are aligning your actions with where you want to go, not just what you feel like doing. Purpose over pleasure also means saying no to certain things that look good right now, but will take you off your path. It means saying no to the party when you know you have work to do. It means saying no to overspending so you can save and invest in your future. It means saying no to toxic relationships that make you feel good for a moment, but drain you over time. Every time you say no to pleasure, you are saying yes to your purpose. And over time, those small choices add up to a life you can be proud of. Purpose has a way of transforming the way you think. When you are purpose-driven, you stop asking what feels good right now and start asking what moves me closer to my goal. That one question changes everything. It changes what you eat, what you watch, who you spend time with, how you spend your money, and how you spend your time. Pleasure is selfish. It only thinks about now. Purpose is strategic. It thinks about the future. A life built on pleasure is fragile because pleasure can be taken away. If your happiness depends on things always feeling good, what happens when life gets hard? What happens when you lose the job? When the relationship ends? When the money runs out? If your life is built on pleasure, you will collapse under pressure. But if your life is built on purpose, you will stand. You will feel the pain. You will cry, but you will keep moving because your foundation is not based on how you feel. It is based on who you are and why you are here. Pleasure can be a trap. It can keep you from growing. When you are too comfortable, you stop pushing yourself. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. Purpose will force you out there. Purpose will demand that you do hard things, uncomfortable things, things that stretch you. That's why purpose feels hard sometimes, because it is shaping you into the person you need to be. Pleasure doesn't shape you, it just soothes you. It helps you escape the work you need to do. But if you keep escaping, you never transform. There is also a deeper fulfillment that comes from purpose that pleasure cannot touch. When you achieve something you work for, when you finally see the results of your consistency and discipline, that feeling is so much greater than the quick rush you get from a moment of pleasure. You feel proud of yourself. You feel strong. You feel capable. You look back and thank yourself for not giving in to the easy way out. That sense of fulfillment lasts, and it fuels you to keep going after more. The danger of living for pleasure is that you can waste years of your life. Time is the one thing you can never get back. Every day you spend chasing things that don't matter is a day you could have spent building the life you want, and before you know it, those days turn into months, and those months turn into years. That is why so many people live with regret later in life, because they realize they traded their potential for moments that didn't last. When you choose purpose, you may not see results right away, but you are building something that will last. You are building character, discipline, resilience, and a future that will reward you for the work you are doing now. It is like planting a seed. You don't see the tree overnight, but if you keep watering it, keep protecting it, one day it grows into something strong and unshakable. Choosing purpose over pleasure is not easy, but it is worth it. It is the difference between living a life that feels good and living a life that means something. It is the difference between looking back with regret and looking back with gratitude. Purpose asks, so what do I want most? And the answer to that question determines the kind of life you build. Discipline over distraction is one of the hardest choices you will ever have to make, but it's also one of the most powerful. Every single day, life is throwing distractions at you. Social media, TV shows, endless notifications, drama from other people, excuses in your own head. They are all fighting for your attention. And if you let them win, if you keep letting distractions take your focus, you will wake up one day and realize you are nowhere near where you said you wanted to be. Discipline is the weapon that cuts through the noise. Discipline says no when distraction says yes. Discipline says stay focused when distraction says take a break. Discipline says finish what you started when distraction says it's not that serious. Discipline is not about feeling like it. It is about doing it no matter what. You cannot wait until you feel motivated to work on your goals, because most days you won't feel motivated. You will feel tired. You will feel lazy. You will feel like taking shortcuts. But discipline does not care about feelings. Discipline is about commitment. It is about saying, I made a promise to myself, and I will keep it even if I don't feel like it. When you start living like that, you separate yourself from the average. Average people let their emotions control them. Great people let their decisions control them. Distractions are dangerous because they are not always obvious. Sometimes distraction looks like rest, but it turns into procrastination. Sometimes distraction looks like entertainment, but it turns into hours wasted. Sometimes distraction looks like helping others, but it is really avoiding your own work. You have to train yourself to recognize when you are being distracted. That means being honest with yourself. That means asking, is what I'm doing right now moving me closer to my goal or pulling me further away? If the answer is pulling you away, you need to have the discipline to stop. Discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. It will feel hard. Waking up early when you are used to sleeping in will feel uncomfortable. Saying no to junk food when you are craving, it will feel painful. Turning off the TV to work on your craft will feel boring. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Discipline builds momentum. Each time you choose discipline over distraction, you prove to yourself that you are in control. You build self-respect, and that self-respect makes it easier to choose discipline the next time. The problem is most people are addicted to distraction. They cannot sit still without checking their phone. They cannot work for more than 10 minutes without looking for a break. Distraction is not just wasting your time, it is training your brain to be weak. It is training your brain to avoid anything that feels difficult. Discipline rewires your brain to lean into hard things instead of running from them. And that is where growth happens, when you do the hard thing, even though every part of you wants to avoid it. Discipline also creates freedom. Most people think discipline is about restriction, about missing out on fun. But the truth is, discipline gives you the freedom to live the life you want. When you are disciplined with your money, you have the freedom to invest, to build wealth, to say yes to opportunities later. When you are disciplined with your time, you have the freedom to enjoy the results of your work instead of always playing catch up. When you are disciplined with your health, you have the freedom to live longer, to have energy, to do things other people cannot do. Distraction feels good now, but traps you later. Discipline feels hard now, but frees you later. When you choose discipline over distraction, you also build consistency. And consistency is where results come from. Anybody can be focused for a day. Anybody can work hard for a week. But discipline keeps you focused for months, for years. That is why some people keep growing and others stay stuck. Because growth is not about intensity, it is about consistency. Showing up every day, even when you are tired, even when you are bored, even when nobody is watching. Discipline will make you keep showing up. Distraction is sneaky because it often disguises itself as urgency. Your phone buzzes and you feel like you have to check it right away. A notification pops up and you feel like you cannot ignore it. Somebody calls you with drama and you feel like you have to get involved. But most of these things can wait. Discipline helps you prioritize what matters most. Discipline says, I will finish what I started first. Then I will deal with everything else. That kind of focus is rare in a world full of distractions, but it is the focus that will take you to the next level. Another thing about discipline, it forces you to become the kind of person who can handle success. Distraction will keep you from reaching success, but even if you got lucky and reached it by accident, you will lose it without discipline. Success requires you to be consistent, to be focused, to keep working even after you have already achieved something. Distraction will make you celebrate too early. Distraction will make you stop growing as soon as you get a little taste of success. Discipline will keep you grounded. Discipline will remind you that there's always more work to do, always another level to reach. Discipline will also test your patience. It will feel slow. It will feel boring. Distractions are exciting. They give you a rush. They make you feel good right away. Discipline is often repetitive. It is doing the same thing over and over again until you master it. But that is exactly why it works, because mastery is built through repetition, not through random bursts of energy. If you can stick with it long enough, if you can keep choosing discipline when everyone else is choosing distraction, you will separate yourself from the pack. It takes courage to live a disciplined life. It means being different. It means saying no when everyone else is saying yes. It means missing out on things in the short term, so you can have what you truly want in the long term. People will not always understand you. They might call you boring, obsessed, too serious. But those same people will look at your results years later and wish they had made the same choices. Discipline is lonely sometimes, but the results are worth it. Every great achievement in history was built on discipline. Athletes who train for hours every day, writers who sit down and write even when they have no inspiration, entrepreneurs who keep building even when nobody believes in them. They all understand that distraction is the enemy of destiny. They protect their focus like it is gold because they know that where your attention goes, your energy flows. If your attention is scattered, your energy is scattered. But if your attention is focused, your energy is powerful. You have to decide what matters most to you. Do you want to feel good right now, or do you want to feel proud later? Every time you choose distraction, you are trading progress for comfort. Every time you choose discipline, you are trading comfort for growth. One trade keeps you where you are. The other trade moves you forward. The truth is, you cannot eliminate distractions completely, but you can control how you respond to them. You can create an environment that makes discipline easier. You can turn off notifications, set boundaries with people, create routines that protect your focus. Discipline is not just about willpower. It is also about strategy. The more intentional you are, the less room you leave for distractions to creep in. Discipline over distraction is not a one-time decision. It is a daily decision. You will have to make it over and over again, sometimes multiple times a day. But every time you make it, you are shaping the person you are becoming. You are becoming someone who can be trusted to follow through, someone who can be counted on, someone who would do what they said they would do. And that kind of person always wins in the long run. Sacrifice is the entry fee for anything worth having in life. And most people never reach their full potential because they are not willing to pay that price. Everybody says they want success, they want the dream, they want the lifestyle. But when it comes time to let go of the things holding them back, they hesitate. Sacrifice is hard because it always costs you something. It costs you time. It costs you comfort. It costs you convenience. Sometimes it costs you relationship. But what you get in return is always greater than what you gave up. The problem is, most people focus so much on what they are losing that they never get to experience what they could gain. When you look at anyone who has achieved greatness in any field, whether it's sports, business, art, or anything else, you will see a trail of sacrifice behind. They sacrificed sleep to practice early in the morning. They sacrificed weekends to work when others were partying. They sacrificed spending money on temporary pleasure so they could invest in their future. They sacrificed comfort so they could chase growth. The truth is, the life you want will demand a version of you that doesn't exist yet. Sacrifice is the process that shapes you into that version. Sacrifice also reveals how serious you are. It's easy to say you want something when it costs you nothing, but when you have to let go of things you enjoy, when you have to say no to things that make you feel good, when you have to make decisions that hurt in the moment, that's when we find out how bad you really want it. Most people quit at the first sign of discomfort. They say things like it's not worth it. Boy, maybe it's not meant to be. No, it's meant to be, but it is meant to be for those who are willing to pay the price. Sacrifice is not punishment, it is preparation. Every time you give something up for the sake of your purpose, you are building discipline, you are building focus, you are proving to yourself that your future matters more than your present. Sacrifice stretches you. It teaches you to go without certain things so you can have better things later. It teaches you that you don't need to say yes to every desire or impulse that comes to your mind. It teaches you control. And control over yourself is one of the most powerful things you could ever develop. Sacrifice also clears space in your life. You cannot fill a cup that is already full. Many of us want success, but our lives are filled with habits, people, and distractions that leave no room for it. Sacrifice makes room. When you let go of the wrong things, you create space for the right things to enter. When you stop spending time on activities that drain you, you make time for activities that build you. When you let go of toxic relationships, you create space for healthy ones. It's not just about losing, it's about gaining what you actually need. Sacrifice will always test your patience. Because most of the time, the reward is not instant. You give up sleep to work on your goals, and you may not see results for months. You give up money to invest, and you may not see returns for years. You give up comfort to build a new skill, and you may feel awkward or even fail at first. But if you stay the course, if you keep making those sacrifices consistently, one day the results will show up. And when they do, they will be worth everything you gave up. One of the hardest sacrifices is letting go of people who don't support your vision. Some of the people you love the most may not understand why you are so committed to your goals. They may tell you to take it easy, to stop working so hard, to come back and live the way you used to. And as much as it hurts, you have to be willing to walk away from anyone who keeps you from your purpose. That doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means you stop letting them control the direction of your life. You have to choose between keeping everyone happy or becoming who you were meant to be. And to be willing. Sacrifice also requires you to let go of who you used to be. That old version of you, the one who wasted time, the one who procrastinated, the one who made excuses, cannot go with you to the next level. You have to kill that version of yourself every single day. You have to choose the new you, the disciplined you, the focused you, the hungry you. This is why sacrifice is so painful, because it is like shedding your old skin. But every time you do it, you get stronger, wiser, and closer to the life you want. Sacrifice is not always glamorous. Social media glorifies the end result, but rarely shows the behind the scenes. It rarely shows the nights you cried because you were exhausted. It rarely shows the times you doubted yourself and almost gave up. It rarely shows the moments you sat alone while everyone else was out having fun. But those moments are where your character is built. Those moments are what prepare you for the weight of success when it finally arrives. Because if you cannot handle sacrifice, you will not be able to handle success either. There will always be people who tell you that sacrifice is not worth it. They will say things like, you only live once, or you should enjoy your life. And yes, you should enjoy life. But there is a difference between enjoying life and wasting it. There's a difference between living fully and living recklessly. True enjoyment comes from knowing you are living in alignment with your purpose, from knowing you are building a life you won't regret later. Sacrifice might hurt now, but regret hurts more. Regret lasts long. Regret lasts longer. Regret eats at you. Sacrifice, on the other hand, pays you back. Sacrifice builds resilience. When you have already gone through the pain of letting things go, of working when it's hard, of staying committed when you wanted to quit, you become tougher. Future challenges don't break you as easily. You start to see pain differently. You start to see it as part of the process instead of as a reason to stop. And that mindset is what will keep you going when others give up. Sacrifice also has a compounding effect. One sacrifice leads to another. And before you know it, you have built a lifestyle around prioritizing what matters most. You start to crave growth more than comfort. You start to see opportunities where you used to see obstacles. You start to trust yourself because you know you are capable of doing the hard things. That confidence will carry you through anything. At some point, sacrifice becomes part of who you are. It stops feeling like a loss and starts feeling like an investment. You no longer feel like you are missing out. You feel like you are leveling. Start to realize that the things you gave up were never as valuable as you thought they were. They were temporary pleasures that were keeping you from permanent fulfillment. The greatest reward of sacrifice is that it aligns you with your highest potential. It forces you to strip away everything that is not essential, everything that is not helping you grow, everything that is not contributing to the person you are becoming. And when you strip away all the unnecessary things, what is left is pure, focused, unstoppable energy. You become someone who cannot be distracted, cannot be easily defeated, cannot be persuaded to quit because you have already given so much and you are about to let it be for nothing. Sacrifice is the entry fee, and it is a price worth paying. Every time you feel the pain of sacrifice, remind yourself why you are doing it. Remind yourself of the vision you have for your life, of the people who are counting on you, of the future you are building. Sacrifice is temporary, but the rewards are permanent. And one day when you are standing in the life you dreamed of, you will look back and thank yourself for every single thing you gave up. You will realize you didn't really lose anything. You simply exchanged something small for something much greater. You have to stop living for other people's approval and start living for the mission you were put on this earth to fulfill. Too many of you are wasting energy trying to impress people who don't even care about your future. People who wouldn't even show up for you if you were in trouble. You're delaying your purpose because you want validation from strangers, from social media, from friends and family who may not even understand the vision that's burning inside of you. Vision is not meant to be explained to everybody. It's not meant to be voted on. It's meant to be executed. When you spend all your time trying to convince people of your worth, you stop doing the work that proves your worth. You have to get to a place where their applause doesn't move you and their criticism doesn't stop you. When you focus on vision, you build something that outlasts people's opinion. Opinions change with the wind, but vision stays steady. Think about every great leader, every innovator, every world changer. They were laughed at, doubted, even hated at times. But they kept moving because they weren't driven by validation. They were driven by a sense of mission. They had a picture in their mind of a future that didn't exist yet. And they were willing to risk being misunderstood to make it real. Some of you are waiting for everyone to agree with you before you move, and that's why you're stuck. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for people to clap for you. Start building even if nobody sees it, even if nobody understands it, even if nobody supports it. The vision was given to you, not them. You have to protect your vision. Not everyone deserves access to it. Stop sharing your big dreams with small-minded people. Some people can't see what you see because their own vision is cloudy. Their own belief system is broken. They will project their limitations on you and try to make you believe that your dream is impossible because don't let their fear become your reality. Don't let their doubt kill your destiny. Your vision is too precious to hand over to someone who doesn't value it. Learn to move in silence when you have to. Learn to work behind the scene until it's time for the vision to be revealed. And here's the thing. Validation is addictive. The more you seek it, the more it controls you. You start making decisions not based on what's right for your purpose, but based on what will get the most approval. You stop innovating because you don't want to upset anyone. You stop taking risks because you're scared of looking foolish. You stop being bold because you don't want to stand out. And before you know it, you're living a life designed to keep other people comfortable while your soul is screaming for more. You can't live for both. You either choose vision or validation. You either choose to be authentic or to be accepted. Vision will cost you. It will cost you popularity. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you relationships with people who like the old version of you. But what you get in return is freedom. When you choose vision, you choose alignment with your purpose. You choose to live a life that makes sense to you, not just to everybody else. And the truth is, once you start walking in your vision, the right people will find you. The right people will support you. The right opportunities will come. You won't need to chase validation because you'll be too busy walking in your calling. Stop worrying about how people see you and start worrying about how you see yourself. When you go to bed at night, the only person you have to answer to is the one in the mirror. Did you do what you said you were going to do? Did you take a step closer to the vision you were given? Did you honor the gifts and talents you were blessed with? Or did you waste another day trying to get someone to notice you? You don't need to be noticed. You need to be effective. You don't need attention. You need impact. Validation is shallow. Vision is deep. Validation feeds your ego. Vision feeds your soul. Validation is about today. Vision is about tomorrow. Validation feels good for a moment. Vision feels good for a lifetime. You cannot afford to trade your destiny for approval. Every time you make a decision just to keep someone else happy, you are betraying yourself. Every time you hold back your truth so people won't judge you, you are dimming your own light. Every time you choose to stay quiet about your goals because you don't want to look crazy, you are slowing down the very thing you were born to do. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. When you walk in vision, not everyone will clap. Some will criticize, some will gossip, some will walk away. Let them. Stop begging people to stay in your life if they can't support where you are going. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding. You don't owe anyone a PowerPoint presentation on your future. You owe it to yourself to take action. And understand this, validation is not the same as accountability. You can still have mentors, coaches, and wise counsel without seeking approval. The difference is you're not asking them to approve your dream. You're asking them to help you execute it. You're not giving them the power to decide if you should move forward. You're asking them for tools to move forward effectively. Accountability will strengthen your vision. Validation will water it down. Vision requires courage. It requires the courage to look foolish for a season, to be the only one who believes, to walk alone if you have to. It requires the courage to shut out the noise, to trust what you feel inside, even when it doesn't make sense to others. The world is full of people who gave up on their vision because they couldn't handle being misunderstood. Don't be one of them. Don't let the fear of judgment rob you of the future you've been dreaming about. And here's the truth. When you stay true to your vision long enough, eventually the same people who doubted you will be the ones asking how you did it. The same people who ignored you will be the ones sharing your story. But you can't wait for that moment to act. You have to move before the applause. You have to trust yourself enough to do the work in the dark so you can shine in the light later. So stop chasing validation. Chase the vision. Write it down, look at it every morning, remind yourself why you started. When you feel tempted, go back to old habits, look at the vision. When you feel like quitting, look at the vision. When people criticize you, look at the vision. Let the vision guide you more than people's opinion. Live a life so aligned with your mission that you don't need to explain yourself to anyone because the results speak louder than words. Validation fades, but vision lasts forever. The world doesn't need another person trying to fit in. The world needs someone bold enough to stand out, to live differently, to inspire others by walking unapologetically in their purpose. When you choose vision over validation, you give other people permission to do the same. You become a light, a leader, a standard. And that's worth far more than any approval you could ever get from the crowd. Legacy is what you leave behind when you're gone. And too many people are living for likes instead of living for legacy. Likes are cheap, temporary, and forgotten the moment someone scrolls past your post. But legacy is permanent. It's the impact that keeps speaking long after you are gone. You have to decide which one you're chasing because they don't require the same effort. Chasing likes is about doing what's popular, what gets attention right now. But building a legacy is about doing what matters even if no one is watching. The danger of living for likes is that it tricks you into thinking you're making progress. Just because you're getting attention, but attention is not the same as impact. You can be popular and still be purposeless. You can have 100,000 followers and still not be leading anyone anywhere. Legacy is not built on moments of attention. It's built on years of intention. Legacy demands consistency. It demands that you show up every single day, even when there are no cameras, even when nobody claps for you, even when nobody notices. When you live for likes, you only work hard when there's an audience. But when you live for legacy, you work hard in private because you know the real reward is not applause. It's the difference you make. Likes feed your ego, but legacy feeds the next generation. You have to stop chasing quick approval and start asking yourself, what am I leaving behind? What will they say about me when I'm gone? Will my name open doors for my children, or will they have to start from scratch? Legacy forces you to think bigger than yourself. It forces you to think beyond this weekend, beyond this year, beyond this lifetime. And here's the thing, legacy costs you something. It costs you comfort. It costs you instant gratification. It costs you the pleasure of doing what everyone else is doing. When you are building a legacy, you can't waste years trying to impress people who aren't even on the same mission as you. You can't afford to get distracted by trends because trends fade, but your name will last. Some of you are so worried about being liked that you abandon the very thing that would have made you legendary. You have to get back to the work. You have to get back to the grind. You have to get back to the vision that scared you, but lit a fire inside of you. Legacy is not just about money. It's about values. It's about principles. It's about the example you set. It's about the blueprint you leave for those who come after you. You can leave your family a fortune, but if you don't leave them discipline, character, and integrity, they will waste it. Legacy is about building a foundation so solid that others can stand on it. It's about breaking cycles so that those after you don't have to fight the same battles you fought. It's about teaching lessons that will still be true 20 years from now. If you are going to live for legacy, you have to play the long game. You have to be willing to sacrifice today so tomorrow is better. You have to be willing to put in work now so that your children don't have to suffer later. You have to be willing to endure criticism, failure, rejection, and keep going because you're not just doing it for you. You're doing it for the people who will come after you. That's what makes legacy so powerful. It's bigger than you. It's not just about what you achieve. It's about who you inspire, who you live, who you help along the way. Life's all about being seen. Legacy is about being remembered. The world is full of people who are famous right now, but will be forgotten in a few years. Fame without impact is empty. Legacy doesn't need fame to be valuable. Some of the most powerful legacies belong to people whose names you will never know. Teachers, mentors, parents, leaders who quietly poured into others and shaped lives. That's why you have to stop comparing yourself to people who seem to have it all on social media. They might have likes, but do they have legacy? They might have followers, but do they have fruit? You are not here just to be seen. You are here to plant seeds. Living for legacy means you measure success differently. You stop asking, how many people like my post? And start asking, how many people's lives did I change? You stop asking, how many people are watching me? And start asking, how many people am I helping? You stop trying to impress the crowd and start trying to impact the few who will actually listen, who will actually grow, who will actually take what you give them and run with it. Legacy also requires integrity. You cannot build something that lasts on a foundation of lies, shortcuts, or compromise. If you want to be remembered for good, you have to do good even when it costs you. You have to do right even when it's unpopular. You have to stay true to your values even when no one would know if you bent the rules. Because legacy is not just what you do, it's how you do it. It's not just what you accomplish, it's who you became while accomplishing. Let's be honest, living for likes, it's easy. It's easy to post something flashy, to fake a lifestyle, to pretend you're winning when you're not. It's easy to make choices that feel good right now without thinking about the consequences. But easy won't give you legacy. Easy won't make you proud when you look back on your life. Easy won't make people tell stories about you years from now that inspire them to be better. Legacy takes discipline. It takes consistency. It takes humility. It takes faith to keep going when it feels like what you're doing isn't working yet. The most powerful thing about legacy is that it multiplies. When you live in a way that inspires others, they carry your lessons into their own lives and teach them to others. Your influence outlives you. Your name becomes associated with excellence, with perseverance, with impact. That's why you can't give up. That's why you can't settle for a life that just looks good on the outside, but is empty on the inside. You have to build something that will still matter when you are gone. So ask yourself every day, am I living for likes, or am I living for legs, or am I living for legacy? When you wake up, choose the action that builds a future, not just a moment. When you are tempted to waste time, remind yourself that time is a currency of legacy and every minute matters. When you are tempted to quit, remind yourself that someone is watching you, someone is counting on you, someone needs the example you are setting. When you feel like nobody cares, remember that legacy is not about being noticed right now, it's about being remembered later. There will come a day when you take your last breath. On that day, likes won't matter, followers won't matter, views won't matter. The only thing that will matter is what you built, who you impacted, and what you left behind. Don't wait until it's too late to start living for something bigger than yourself. Don't wait until you're at the end of your life to start thinking about what really matters. Start now, build now, sacrifice now. Because one day someone will tell your story worth telling. Consistency is not glamorous, but it is the difference between those who talk about success and those who actually achieve it. It's easy to show up when it's fun. It's easy to put in work when you're motivated. But the people who truly win are the ones who keep going when the excitement wears off. Consistency is the silent power that turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It's about making a decision every single day to keep moving forward, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, even when no one is clapping. Convenience will always tempt you to stop, to take a shortcut, to give yourself an excuse. But consistency refuses to negotiate with comfort. Consistency said, I made a commitment, and I'm going to keep it regardless of how I feel right now. The truth is, convenience is seductive. It whispers to you that you can take the day off, that one missed day won't hurt, that you can start again tomorrow. And before you know it, tomorrow turns into next week turns into next month, and the dream you once said was urgent becomes optional. That is how mediocrity is built. One skip day, one broken promise, one delayed decision at a time. Consistency doesn't allow that to happen. Consistency keeps you accountable. Consistency keeps you disciplined. Consistency reminds you that every single action you take is a deposit into the future you want. Consistency is also what builds trust with yourself and with others. Every time you show up when you said you would, you prove to yourself that you can be counted on. You strengthen your own confidence. You reinforce the belief that you are capable of seeing things through. On the flip side, every time you quit, every time you give in to convenience, you teach yourself that your word means nothing. You break your own trust, and that makes it even harder to get back up the next time. That's why consistency is so powerful. It's not just about the results you get, it's about the person you become in the process. And make no mistake, consistency is hard. It's supposed to be. If it were easy, everyone would do it. You're going to face days when you are exhausted, when you are discouraged, when the results don't seem to match the effort you're putting in. Those are the days that define you. Those are the days that separate the committed from the convenient. Convenience says, I'll take a break, you deserve it. Consistency says to stay focused, you're not done yet. You have to decide which voice you are going to listen to. Consistency is also about small things. Everyone wants the big moment, the breakthrough, the viral success. Built on thousands of small, boring, ordinary actions. The book gets written one page at a time. The body gets transformed one workout at a time. The business gets built one phone call at a time. Most people quit because they underestimate how powerful those small, consistent actions are. They want results faster than the process will allow. But consistency is patient. Consistency understands that the process cannot be rushed. It understands that growth takes time, that mastery takes repetition, that excellence takes years of deliberate practice. If you want to be great, you have to stop asking, how fast can I get there? And start asking, how long am I willing to stay? The great ones stay. They show up on the days when it's raining, when it's cold, when they're tired, when they're not in the mood. They stay committed to the process, even when the results are slow. They know that if they just keep planting seeds, eventually the harvest will come. But if they stop planting because they're frustrated, they guarantee that there will be no harvest. Consistency also teaches resilience. When you stay committed to something long enough, you learn how to push through boredom, how to push through pain, how to push through setbacks. You learn that failure is not final, that one bad day doesn't erase months of progress, that you are capable of getting back up no matter how many times you fall. Convenience doesn't teach you that. It teaches you how to quit when it gets uncomfortable. It teaches you how to escape instead of endure. It teaches you how to settle for less than your potential. Consistency will not always give you instant gratification, but it will always give you compound results. Every day you stay consistent, you are stacking bricks. Eventually those bricks become a wall, a foundation, a monument to your discipline. People will look at your life and call you lucky, but it won't be luck. It will be years of consistency that nobody saw. They didn't see the early mornings, the late nights, the sacrifices, the moments you wanted to quit, but did. That's why consistency is so rare, because it requires you to keep going without applause, without recognition, without immediate payoff. Convenience will always promise you quick satisfaction, but it never delivers long-term fulfillment. Convenience will leave you with regrets. Consistency will leave you with results. Convenience will make you feel good right now, but rob you of the future you want. Consistency will stretch you right now, but reward you for years to come. You have to decide which pain you're willing to live with, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One lasts a moment, the other lasts a lifetime. Consistency is also contagious. When you show up every day, when you stay faithful to your vision, you inspire others to do the same. Your consistency becomes a standard for your family, your friends, your team. People trust leaders who are consistent because they know what to expect from them. They know they won't disappear when things get hard. If you want to lead, you have to be consistent. If you want to build something that lasts, you have to be consistent. If you want to be remembered for more than just talking about what you are going to do, you have to be consistent. And finally, consistency is freedom. When you live consistently, you no longer have to rely on motivation to get things done. You don't have to wait until you will feel like it, because you've trained yourself to show up regardless. You build habits that carry you through even on the hard days. You've developed discipline that allows you to control your actions instead of letting your feelings control you. That is where real freedom is found. Not in doing whatever is convenient, but in doing what is necessary even when it's hard. So make the choice today. Stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect mood, the perfect circumstances. They will never come. Choose to be consistent now. Choose to put in the work even when nobody sees it. Choose to keep your word to yourself even when it would be easier to quit. One day, the consistency that feels so hard right now will be the very thing that sets you apart from everyone else who gave up. And when you look back, you will be grateful you didn't take the convenient route, because convenience might have made life easier, but consistency made you who you are meant to be. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is a messenger, a signal that something inside you needs to grow. Something inside you needs to be strengthened. Most people run from pain. They try to avoid it, hide from it, numb it with distractions, drown it with entertainment. But pain is one of the greatest teachers life will ever send you. If you stop running and start listening, pain will show you where you are weak, where you are vulnerable, where you have been ignoring your purpose. When you chase pleasure, you silence the very voice that's trying to direct you. Pain is the alarm clock that wakes you up to your destiny. You don't grow when things are easy. You grow when things are hard. The weights in the gym are heavy because the resistance is what builds your muscles. Life is the same way. The resistance, the rejection, the heartbreak, the failures, they are building the strength you need to carry your purpose. Every great person you admire went through pain. They went through seasons where they were broken, rejected, doubted. But instead of using that pain as an excuse, they used it as energy. Pain can either paralyze you or prepare you. When you let pain teach you, it will become your motivation. Think about it. The moments that hurt you the most are the ones that shaped your character the most. The nights you cried yourself to sleep are the nights you found your faith. The days you felt like quitting are the days that taught you endurance. Pleasure will never teach you that. Pleasure only tells you to stay comfortable, to stay in the same place. But purpose calls you to stretch, to be uncomfortable, to keep going even when it burns. Pain will ask you, how bad do you want this? And purpose will push you to answer, you have to stop seeing pain as punishment. It's preparation. The world has lied to you and told you that pain means you are on the wrong path. No, pain means you are leveling up. The process of transformation is uncomfortable. When a seed is buried, it must break open before it can grow into a tree. That breaking is pain, but without it, there is no life. Some of you are in a season where you feel crushed. You feel like everything around you is falling apart. But what if that pain is the very thing that is forcing you to become who you were meant to be? What if the heartbreak is what is going to teach you how to love yourself first? What if the failure is what is going to teach you the discipline you need for success? Pain is a teacher that shows up when you need it most. You have to lean into it. Stop trying to escape the lesson. Stop numbing yourself with distractions, with entertainment, with addiction. Sit with the pain. Let it speak to you. Ask it what it is trying to teach you. Some of the greatest breakthroughs happen when you sit in the discomfort long enough to hear the message. And here's the thing, pain is temporary, but the wisdom you gain from it will stay with you forever. You might feel like it's unbearable right now, but eventually the pain will fade and you will still be standing stronger, wiser, more focused. Pleasure never gives you that kind of return on investment. Pleasure is gone as soon as the moment is over, but pain gives you lessons that can last a lifetime. And listen, there is no purpose without pain. Every dream comes with a price tag, and that price is usually paid in discomfort, sacrifice, sleepless nights, rejection, criticism, and setbacks. You will be tested before you are trusted with your purpose. The pain is refining you, shaping you, humbling you, preparing you to handle the weight of the blessing you've been asking for. If you can't endure the pain, you can't carry the purpose. That's why so many people quit. They want the reward, but not the struggle. They want the glory, but not the grind. You have to embrace the grind. You have to see pain as proof that you are getting closer. Think about an athlete. Every championship, every gold medal, every record-breaking performance is built on a foundation of pain. Early morning, sore muscles, strict diets, endless drill. They put their bodies through pain on purpose because they know what's on the other side. You have to do the same with your life. Put yourself through the pain of discipline so you don't have to live with the pain of regret. One pain is temporary and builds you up. The other pain stays with you forever, eats you alive. Which one will you choose? And understand this, pain reveals your priorities. When you are in pain, you find out what matters most. You find out who you really are. Anybody can smile when life is easy, but who are you when life punches you in the mouth? Pain will show you if commitment is real, disconvenient is real, or just convenient. If you only show up when it feels good, you will never reach your purpose. But if you show up when it hurts, when you are tired, when you are bleeding, when you are doubted, that's when you become unstoppable. Your pain is not wasted. Every tear, every scar, every sleepless night is part of your testimony. One day you will look back and thank God for the pain because it taught you what pleasure never could. Pain taught you perseverance. Pain taught you empathy. Pain taught you patience. Pain taught you how to rely on your faith, how to rely on your work ethic, how to rely on your inner strength. If you let it, pain will teach you to never settle, to never give up, to never compromise your purpose just to feel good for a moment. The next time pain shows up in your life, don't run from it. Respect it. Welcome it like a coach who pushes you to do one more rep when you want to quit. Welcome it like a mentor who refuses to let you settle for less than your best. Your purpose is bigger than your feelings, and pain is here to remind you of that. It's not trying to destroy you, it's trying to develop you. You just have to be willing to endure. You have to trust the process, trust that the pain has a purpose. And when you come out on the other side, you won't just be stronger, you will be transformed. The truth is, pain is the bridge between who you are and who you are supposed to be. You can't skip it. You can't go around it. You have to go through it. But once you do, once you let pain do its job, you will be ready to carry the weight of your destiny. And that is why pain is a teacher you can't afford to ignore. The truth is, everything we've talked about comes down to one decision. One choice you have to make every single day. Will you live for something bigger than yourself? Or will you let life push you around while you chase what feels good in the moment? I told you from the beginning that pleasure will always tempt you because it's easy. It's comfortable. It doesn't require anything from you except a yes. But purpose will demand everything you got, your time, your energy, your patience, your discipline, your sacrifice, your faith. Purpose is not a one-time decision. It is a lifestyle. It is waking up every morning and asking yourself, am I living today in alignment with where I'm trying to go? It is saying no to things that most people say yes to, not because they are wrong, but because they are not right for where you're headed. You have to understand that purpose is not glamorous all the time. Most of the time, it's lonely. Most of the time, it's quiet. Most of the time, nobody is cheering you on. Nobody is clapping for you when you wake up at 4 a.m. Nobody is posting your sacrifices on social media. Nobody is celebrating your grind in real time. Purpose is not about applause. Purpose is about staying locked in on the vision you have for your life, even when there's no validation, no confirmation, no guarantee that it's all going to work out. That's what separates those who live a life of meaning from those who waste years chasing things that never fill the void. Every time you choose purpose over pleasure, you're building something inside yourself that can't be bought. You're developing grit. You're developing resilience. You're developing a standing for your life. You're saying to the world, I will not settle for average. I will not settle for temporary satisfaction. I will not waste my potential on things that don't matter. And when you stack those days on top of each other, day after day, week after week, year after year, you will look up one day and realize that your entire life has been transformed, not by one big moment, but by 1,000 small decisions to choose purpose over pleasure. But let me warn you, this isn't easy. There will be days when you feel like quitting. There will be moments when the old life, the comfortable life, the easy life will look so attractive that you will be tempted to go back. There will be people who tell you that you are too serious, that you work too hard, that you are missing out. They will try to pull you back into the cycle of pleasure because it makes them uncomfortable to see you level up. But this is where you must be unshakable. This is where you must remind yourself why you started in the first place. You must have the courage to stay the course, to remain committed, even when it seems like nothing is happening. Because that is the secret. Something is happening. Growth is happening. Progress is happening. Every day you choose discipline, you are moving closer to the person you were created to be. You have to stop living like you have forever. You don't. You don't know how many days you have left. You don't know how many opportunities you will get. You don't know how many more chances you have to get it right. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting until you feel like it. Stop waiting until the stars align. Start now. Today, take that first step toward your purpose, even if it's small. Send that email. Wake up an hour earlier. Turn off the distractions. Write down your goals. Read the book. Get around people who are where you want to be. Do something that moves you closer to the life you said you wanted because no one else is going to do it for you. Your purpose is too important to waste another second. Your purpose is too powerful to let fear, procrastination, or comfort rob you of what you were created to do. When you die, don't take your dream with you. Don't take your book, your business, your invention, your song, your idea to the grave. Leave it all here. Pour it all out. Live so fully in your purpose that when it's all said and done, you can say, I gave it everything I had. That is what purpose over pleasure looks like. It is not about being perfect. It is about being committed. It is about getting back up every single time you fall and refusing to let failure define you. If you want a life that matters, if you want a life that impacts others, if you want a life that leaves a legacy, you must learn to delay gratification. You must learn to work while others are playing. You must learn to invest in yourself even when it costs you. And the beautiful thing is this, the very pleasure you are sacrificing today will be waiting for you on the other side, multiplied. But it will be better because you earned it. You will enjoy it differently because you know what it took to get there. Purpose makes pleasure sweeter. Purpose makes success sustainable. Purpose makes the pain worth it. I'm telling you right now, your future self is counting on you to make the hard choice today. Your family is counting on you. The people you are meant to inspire, counting on you. The next generation is counting on you. You are not just living for yourself. You are living for everyone who will come after you. You are building something bigger than you. That is why you cannot afford to live by feelings. Feelings change, feelings fade, feelings lie. Live by principles, live by purpose. When it gets hard, remind yourself that greatness is not supposed to be easy. It was never meant to be convenient, but it is worth it. Every drop of sweat, every late night, every early morning, every sacrifice, it is worth it. Because at the end of your life, you will not be proud of how many good times you had. You will be proud of the difference you made. You will not be proud of how comfortable you were. You will be proud of how committed you were. You will not be proud of how much you consumed. You will be proud of how much you contributed. That is what purpose gives you. So today, make the decision. Make the decision that from this moment on, you will stop living for temporary highs and start living for eternal impact. Make the decision that you will not quit, no matter how hard it gets. Make the decision that you will honor the gifts and talents you have been given by using them to the fullest. Make the decision that you will keep showing up, keep fighting, keep grinding until your purpose is fulfilled. Because there's nothing more satisfying, nothing more fulfilling, nothing more rewarding than looking back over your life and knowing you did exactly what you were put here to do. Purpose over pleasure. That's the standard. That's the calling. That's the life you were meant to live.